This story is called Gifted. The mind is a labyrinth of memories, intricate and delicate, woven with the threads of our experiences. But what happens when those threads begin to fray? When the labyrinth itself crumbles? I never imagined that I would become a prisoner within my own thoughts, a victim of a horror that even my prodigious intellect couldn't comprehend. I was once heralded as a young prodigy, a mind that danced effortlessly through the complexities of mathematics and science. My name whispered in admiration in academic circles, my achievements celebrated. But like a star burning too brightly, my brilliance seemed to cast a shadow that no one noticed until it was too late. It started with a simple lapse, a forgotten appointment, a misplaced notebook, mundane occurrences that I brushed aside, attributing them to stress or exhaustion. But as days turned into weeks, those lapses grew more frequent, more disturbing. Equations that I once could solve in my sleep now befuddled me, and names of people I've known for years slipped through the cracks in my mind. The creep and fear was accompanied by a growing unease, a sensation that someone was rearranging the furniture of my mind while I slept. Nights were filled with restless dreams, visions of a dark figure whispering riddles in my ear. The key to your genius lies in your oblivion, it hissed, its voice a cold breath against my skin. I sought solace in my research, hoping to ground myself in the familiar. But even there, my thoughts were slippery, like trying to catch water with bare hands. Formulas I'd written only hours ago appeared as foreign symbols, mocking my desperate attempts to understand. As weeks turned into months, I withdrew from the world, barricading myself in my study. The walls were plastered with notes and diagrams, a mosaic of my unraveling mind. But the harder I tried to piece together the puzzle, the more it crumbled between my fingers. The sensation of being watched intensified, as if invisible eyes were burrowing into my skull. My reflection became a stranger in the mirror, hollow eyes staring back at me. I could feel the fraying edges of my sanity, like a threadbare rope straining against the weight of a dark abyss. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of fragmented thoughts that echoed in the corridors of my consciousness. One fateful night, as a blood-red moon hung in the sky like a sinister omen, I stumbled upon a letter hidden within a forgotten drawer. The words on the page were my own, but they spoke of things that I could not remember writing. Dark experiments, forbidden knowledge, a desperate plea for salvation from the mind consumed by its own brilliance. A chilling realization coursed through me like icy veins. The answers to my descent into madness were woven into the very fabric of my research, a trail of breadcrumbs left behind by my former self. But unlocking these answers meant confronting the depths of my own mind, a journey into the unknown that might shatter whatever remained of my sanity. With trembling hands, I returned to my research notes, decoding the enigmatic equations that seemed to shift and writhe on the page. The room pulsed with an otherworldly energy as I whispered the incantations hidden within the symbols. Reality warped and twisted, folding in on itself, and I was plunged into a nightmarish dreamscape, a labyrinth of memories, distorted and disjointed. Flickering shadows danced on the periphery of my vision, whispers echoing through the twisted corridors. Faces of people I've known appeared and dissolved like phantoms, their eyes brimming with accusation. Every step forward felt like a deeper step into the abyss, my own thoughts mocking me as they slipped through my grasp. Time lost all meaning in that twisted realm, and the line between past, present, and future blurred into a disorienting haze. And then, the heart of that maze of memories, I found it. A fragment of truth, a shard of comprehension. The darkness that had clawed at the edges of my mind was not an external force. It was a manifestation of my own brilliance. A price I paid for pushing the boundaries of understanding. As the truth settled over me like a suffocating shroud, the labyrinth began to collapse. Memories crumbled like ash, disintegrating into the void. But in that moment of clarity, I understood the choice before me. To cling to my fleeting genius and descend further into madness, or let it go, to surrender the very thing that defined me. With a whispered prayer, I chose the latter. The labyrinth dissolved, and I found myself back in my study, surrounded by fading remnants of my research. The whispers had receded, replaced by a numbing emptiness. The price of my brilliance had been steep, but in its wake, I had found a measure of peace. They say genius and madness walk a fine line, and I had danced perilously along that edge. My mind was no longer a labyrinth of terror, but a barren landscape, stripped of its former brilliance. And yet, in that emptiness, I discovered a new beginning, a chance to rebuild, to redefine myself beyond the confines of intellect. The horror of losing my memory and descending into madness will forever haunt me, but it's a horror that's transformed into a haunting beauty. The prodigy that once was may be gone, but in its place a fragile soul remains, scarred but resilient, and perhaps in some small way more human than ever before.